Okay. Thank you so much for the autograph, but I don't need it. Okay. نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما اللهم اهد قلبي وسدد لساني واسلل سخيمة قلبي آمين ثم آمين. Inshallah, today we will repeat the same dua because yesterday I realized that some of you were struggling. So today I will explain it with breakdown of the dua so it's easy for you to memorize it. Because it's such an important dua. We all need the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all need the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our life. So that's why I want everyone to memorize this dua, okay? So whomever Allah wills, they will read, okay? How's that? Okay. So inshallah, dua number 6, which we did yesterday, we are going to repeat it today. Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. So here is the breakdown of the dua. Allahumma is one word, which means, oh Allah. Inni has two words in it. One is inni, inna, which is indeed, and then ya. This ya means I. So in Arabic, just like in English, you write just the letter I. So in Arabic, the ya in many words symbolizes the I. So it means indeed I. Then as'alu. As'alu means I ask, and ka means you. Okay? So as'aluka has two words in it, as'alu and ka. As'alu means I ask, and ka means you, which means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Min is a letter like you have in English also, is, are, am, of. So different prepositions, conjunctions. So similarly in Arabic we have some letters, and min is one of them, which means of, or sometimes it's used as for also. Fadlika has two words in it. Fadli means bounty, and ka is again a pronoun. Actually, the ka here is pronouns for Allah. Here we are saying Allahumma, and then instead of repeating Allahumma again and again, we are saying as'aluka, fadlika. Okay? Then wa is a letter, and then rahmatika, again it has two words in it, rahmati and ka. So Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. Got it? Okay, good. So here is the dua again. Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. Okay? So let's read this one more time, 2-3 times, and then inshallah I will give mic to some other students. And we will revise the duas we have done so far, okay? Labiba, let's begin with you.
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatik.
Very good. Translation?
O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
Excellent, Labiba. Good girl. Muhammad Rohil.
Assalamualaikum. Oh Allahumma inni as'aluka means, oh Allah, indeed I ask you. Min fadlika means of
Very
your
good.
bounty.
Excellent.
Matika means and your mercy.
Excellent. That was perfect, Rohil. Can you say one more time? Min fadlika.
Min fadlika.
Fadlika. Just don't bounce it. Just recite it normally. Min fadlika.
Min fadlika.
Good. Wa rahmatika.
Wa rahmatika.
Excellent. Good boy. Okay. Bilawal.
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika.
Very good. Translation?
O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
Excellent. Good boy. Okay. Mahdiya? Yes, Mahdiya?
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
MashaAllah. Very good, Mahdiya. Good girl. Zain? Yes, Zain.
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
Excellent. You are a space boy. Every day I see the space background behind me. Allah Mubarak. Good boy, mashallah. Okay, let me take someone new today. Vania? Yes, Vania?
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
MashaAllah. Very good. Barakallah fiki. Okay, Maz? Yes, Maz? Yeah.
Allahumma inni as'aluka. O Allah, indeed I ask you min fadlika of your bounty wa rahmatika and your mercy.
Very good. Can you unmute yourself? I mean, mute yourself. Okay. Arham? Yes, Arham.
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
Is Amna with you too?
Not now. She's
No.
with us.
Okay. Okay. Barakallah. Good boy. Okay. Who else? Manal? Oh. Manal, 1 minute. Now try. I think, okay, yes.
Allahumma inni as'aluka, and O Allah, indeed I ask you min fadlika of your bounty wa rahmatika and your mercy.
Very good, Manal. How old are you, Manal?
8.
8. Okay, mashallah. That was excellent. Barakallah fi. Good girl. Okay, let me take someone new today. Okay, Mustafa Audaus. Okay. Yes, Mustafa, how do you say your name? Last name?
Audus,
Audus. Okay, where are you from?
Canada.
Canada? Okay. Can you recite?
Allahumma inni as'aluka, O Allah, indeed I ask you min fadlika of your bounty wa rahmatika and your mercy.
Oh, mashallah. How old are you, Mustafa?
6.
6. Okay,
My
mashallah.
real name is Omar.
Your real name is Umar? Okay. You have a sibling too in the class?
Yes.
Okay. Your sister?
Yes.
Okay. Is she with you or another device?
Another device.
Okay, okay, let me ask her to read. What is her name?
The same name.
No, I mean her name.
The same name as my name.
Okay. Okay, Mustafa's sister, can you read it? Yes. What is your name?
Amira.
Amira, okay.
Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadlika wa rahmatika. O Allah, indeed I ask you of your bounty and your mercy.
MashaAllah, very good, perfect, good girl. Okay, Sarah and Hafsa. Okay, yes, Sarah.
Allahumma inni as'aluka, O Allah, indeed I ask you, min fadlik, of your bounty, wa rahmatika, and your mercy.
Are you Sarah or are you Hafsa?
Sarah.
Sarah, okay. Hafsa wants to read?
Yes.
Okay, yes, Hafsa, go ahead.
Allahumma inni as'aluka. You say,
O Allah,
O Allah, indeed I say, I ask you, min fadlik, of your bounty, wa rahmatika, and your mercy.
MashaAllah. He has such an amazing sister. See, she's helping you. Okay, keep helping her till she memorizes it, okay?
yes.
Okay, good girl. Barakallah feekum. Okay, let me take one more student and then we will conclude here, inshallah. Minna, okay. Okay, Minna, yes, go ahead.
Allahumma hadini wa saddidni.
Okay, very good. MashaAllah. Barakallah feekum. Okay, my dear students, inshallah, we will conclude our class here. And Sister Mariam Said is with us. So inshallah, we will study the next juz today. And alhamdulillah, today you will be starting juz number 9. Allah Mubarak. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone doing today? Is everyone excited for the new juz? Alhamdulillah, so many stories today and actually mention of so many prophets. So let's see how many of you know about them, and then inshallah we will try to cover one story today, and then we will inshallah do the rest in another juz, because alhamdulillah the prophets are mentioned many times. But inshallah today we're going to have an overview, and we're going to see some amazing things to do with how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with us and how can we pass tests. So is everyone excited? Okay, alhamdulillah. Seems like you guys can't talk, but it's all right. We will use buttons, all right? So green for yes, red for no. And inshallah, if you don't see the buttons, just go to participants, click on it, and you'll be able to see them, all right? So just click on participants, and then you'll be able to see the buttons. So, and inshallah, once you're done with a few topics, then I can give you the mic. Then inshallah, you can share. But right now, you don't need to raise your hand because, you know, not giving you mics. So just stick to the green and red buttons for now. Cool? All right, so inshallah, let's begin. We're gonna begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. So, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'ad, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما Allahumma faqihna fi deen. May Allah give us the correct understanding of the deen. May Allah enable us to understand these ayat. There's so amazing, so many amazing ayat today, so many stories today. So let's see how much can we cover, inshallah. So let's begin. So you're all welcome to the course. And then we have a lot of new students today. So welcome to all new students. And just one advice for all new students: don't worry about catching up with the juzzes you have missed already. Just go with the flow of the class. Once we are done with the whole course, then you can start over from juz 1. All right. So right now, just focus on juz 9. Don't worry about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, inshallah. And you can do it later whenever you can. After, maybe even after Eid even. You guys have summer break coming up, right? Summer vacation. So inshallah, you can do them then. Summer holidays, inshallah. All right, so in this juz, there are 2 surahs. Surah Al-A'raf, we already started last class, yesterday. We're going to build on it. And then inshallah, we're going to go to Surah Al-Anfal. So in Surah Al-A'raf, we were talking about the people on the height, right? But we did not talk about their end result. Someone asked after class, so I wanted to share with all of you as well. So, the people who would have their good deeds just exactly the same as bad deeds, like the number or the count or the quality or the value. So if they are equal, then what will happen to them eventually? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful. So we have the hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive those people. But what do we need to do? We don't want to be in that spot either, because it's not easy to wait for the results. So inshallah, we need to do a lot of good deeds, and whatever bad deeds we already have on our records, we should ask Allah to forgive them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can remove them also. Because someone was asking yesterday, how will we get them removed? So inshallah, the best way to get them removed is, especially in Ramadan, and especially Fridays coming up, that's tomorrow. And on every Friday, there's 1 hour when your du'as are accepted. So according to scholars, it's the last hour before Maghrib. So you can calculate the time, figure it out. Let's say your Maghrib is around 8, all right? So let's say your Maghrib is 8 p.m. So at 7 p.m., set a reminder for you, set an alarm for you, and then just go to your room, sit there, and just ask Allah to forgive you. And that's it. You're going to be done. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts the du'as. So you don't have to worry about your previous sins anymore. You're all set, inshallah. And then you just have to start fresh and don't do anything wrong, inshallah. Good? Yes or no? So whichever time is your Maghrib tomorrow, you're just going to give 1 hour before that. Maybe just sit there first. You can, recite a bit of Qur'an. Then you can just make dua to Allah in your own language. Oh Allah, please forgive me. Oh Allah, sorry, I've made this mistake. Oh Allah, I hit that person. Sorry. Oh Allah, I was really, really mean to my parents. I'm really sorry. And all of those things, inshallah. All right. And then you can also ask Allah, oh Allah, please make me a good person. Oh Allah, please make it easy for me to not scream at people. Make it easy for me to not use bad language. Oh Allah, make it easy for me to be your favorite. And this should be your favorite dua, because this is my favorite dua. That, oh Allah, make me your favorite. So in Arabic, it would be, if you want to write it down, we can actually request Sister Shazia to make you memorize that as well. So we learn it from Surah Maryam. It's like we get inspired by Surah Maryam, and then we turn it into a dua. It's not a dua there. It's more like you can say a statement there, but it's like so beautiful. Like, ij'alni, oh Allah, make me, Rabbi radiya, my Lord, your favorite. Ij'alni Rabbi radiya, or make me, my Lord, your favorite. So inshallah, you can make this dua in English as well. So not a problem. So let's move on. So today, the first ayah of this juz is ayah number 88 of Surah Al-A'raf. This ayah talks about Shu'aib alayhi salam. But before that, there were a few other stories. So it won't make sense if we just jump directly to Shu'aib alayhi salam and we ignore the other stories. So I'm just going to show you a few slides, all right? So the prophets and their message was the same. And these prophets were mentioned towards the end of juz 8. Nuh alayhi salam. How many of you know the story of Nuh alayhi salam? Yes or no? Noah. Cool. It was Hud alayhi salam. How many of you know Hud alayhi salam's story? Yes or no? Again, it's not about raising hands. It's about the buttons. Click on participants and use the button. Very good. And how about Salih? Another prophet. And how about Lut? Okay, let me ask you a question. Was Lut related to Ibrahim alayhi salam, yes or no? Was Lut related to Ibrahim alayhi salam, yes or no? Yes, he was. And Lut was the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam's brother. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was his uncle. Make sense? So he was the good nephew. And inshallah, someday when we will do the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, you will learn about him. Or I can actually give you the fact right now. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, when his family abandoned him, when his father wanted to burn him, he had to leave his country. He had to leave his area. So when he left, he had only two people with him. Only his wife, Sarah, and his nephew, Lut. So these were the only two believers in him, or two supporters of him, and two good people with him. Cool? All right. Shu'aib alayhi salam was another prophet. He belonged to a very noble family. That's why the people who hated him could not even bother him, because they were scared of the family, and because they were scared of his lineage, family, money, and everything. And then Musa alayhi salam's story is mentioned in the surah in detail, in quite a lot of detail. So let's see. Okay, before we move on, just wanted to mention one more point. Nuh alayhi salam's time was the time when people, they got into idol worship and stuff. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sent them warnings, and they did not believe. And the message was given to them, but they were not taking the message seriously. So there was, you can say, a flood, and there was a punishment from Allah, and only the believers survived, and the disbelievers, they did not survive that, right? So they were just all drowned. So only believing people were left on the entire face of the earth. Then where did this people of Hud come from? So sadly, what happens is sometimes parents are righteous, they're believers, but their kids, they become evil. So this is exactly what happened. Only the pure people were left when Nuh alayhi salam and his believers were saved. But from their generations, from their kids and their kids and their kids and their kids, when the next generation came, they also got distracted. They also started doing shirk. They also started worshipping idols. And then Hud alayhi salam was sent to help them get out of that shirk. Because shirk is something which is great, it's big, it's worse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want anyone to fall into that. That's why he kept on sending one prophet after the other. And again, same thing happened over and over again. Believers were left, but then again, their children and their children's children, their children's children, they became corrupt again. And then another prophet was sent. So this is how it all went on for quite many years. So from all of these stories, we learn one thing, that majority of times it was the rich people, the elites of the society, they were arrogant and they disbelieved because they thought they could own everything. They thought they don't need any religion. They thought they have enough means, they have money, they don't need nothing. And usually the weak ones, they were humble and they were believers. From all of these stories, this is what we have deduced. So just something that you can remember. So we need to see, how do I react when people question my faith? Does my iman shake? Because all of these prophets, they were questioned very harshly. Sometimes even, some of the prophets, not these ones, some of the prophets were actually killed by their people as well. That why are you telling us to do good? Okay, we'll kill you. Why are you trying us to change? So we're not going to listen to you, we're going to harm you. So we need to ask ourselves, when people react and when people ask us questions about our faith, do we get scared? Or do we feel that we have increased in our iman and we try to research more and we give them good answers? Or are we too scared to show our faith? And while we're talking about the rich people and how they would react with the prophets, and especially the story of Shu'aib alayhi salam, we learn a lesson. Worldly pleasures should not make us arrogant. Rather, it should bring us closer to Allah. What happened to them was they started thinking that they're too holy for the message, too rich to listen to someone who's poor, or too rich to obey some commands or follow rules. And a lot of times people think that following rules is making them making them feel confined and they're not free anymore. There's no freedom, but that's not right. You know, whichever country you live in, no matter how advanced the country is, there are rules, right? If there are no rules, what will happen? If there are no rules, it will be a chaos, yes or no? If there are no rules, there will be chaos, right? Okay, let me give you a situation now. Okay, I'm clearing it up. Let me give you a situation. No answers, no answers, no answers, no answers. Listen to the question first. You need to know the question, right? Before you answer. All right, so the question is, let's say your government announces that tomorrow, no matter what you do, there will be no cops, there will be no punishment, you can do whatever. Now imagine, what can you do? Like, think about it. Let's say it's true that no one's gonna catch you, no one's going to punish you, no one's going to report you, and you can do whatever just one day. You've been given one day. What are you going to do? And subhanallah, you will think about the worst things, right? Some people, they will break in different shops. Some people, they will just go to bank and rob them. Some people, they would try to steal stuff from their neighbors, the new game console and whatnot. And some people, they will try and go to different shops and get the stuff, right? And some people, they will just take revenge from all their enemies because this is the day no one's going to catch them. You know what I mean? Right? Makes sense, right? If there is no law, then people will go crazy. So that's why there is law. That's why we follow the rules. Okay, let me ask you another question then. So it was a situation to do with dunya. But let's say if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't have given us Day of Judgment, wouldn't have told us about Day of Judgment, what would we do? Let me ask you a question. Are we going to do good deeds? Yes, or are we going to do bad deeds? Are we going to do good deeds or bad deeds? Good deeds is green, bad deeds is red. Good deeds is green and bad deeds is yes. We're going to do bad deeds because we would think, okay, if there is no Day of Judgment, if I'm not punished, then I'd rather do whatever, right? So that's why there are rules, because if there are rules, things are in control. Otherwise, no one is safe from another person. These rules are for our own benefit, because if there are no rules, anyone can come and harm me. If there are no rules, people can come and snatch my stuff. If there are no rules, someone can come and take everything from my place and kill my family members. So these rules are for good, for our goodness. So we should be happy about the rules because they make us civil, they make us decent. And there's another lesson we learned from all of these stories of the people who were punished because they were keep on denying, rejecting the message even after seeing the miracles. So arrogance leads to humiliation even in this world and also in the hereafter. And there are many stories about arrogance. Like, there was this person who was very arrogant, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested that person, and that person was humiliated big time, embarrassed big time. And you must have seen real examples in your school or somewhere around you. That there was this person who was very arrogant and was used to think that he was like the best, or like he can boss people around, but he was humiliated really bad. People made fun of him later, and he had no respect whatsoever. So what's the lesson for us? We should never become arrogant, and we should accept the truth. And we should also not get intimidated by people's stubbornness, because all of these nations, all of these people, they were very stubborn. Even when they were told, okay, look at this proof, look at that proof, this is the logical reasoning behind it, this is true, this is not true, but they were like very stubborn. They were like, nah, I don't believe it. Nah, I don't believe it. So don't get scared. Don't start listening to them, and don't start acting like them. Don't change your ways in order to fit in. Write it down. Don't change your ways in order to fit in, because we are going to stick to the truth, no matter what the truth is. So inshallah, we'll move on, and we're going to look at ayah number 94 and 95 now, because it gives us the way of Allah, that how he deals with people. And this is something very important, all right? Very, very important. And we sent to no city a prophet who was denied, except that we seized its people with poverty and hardship, that they might humble themselves to Allah. Then we exchanged in place of the bad condition good, until they increased and they were prosperous, and said, our fathers also were touched with hardship and ease, so we seized them suddenly while they did not perceive. So here we learn from these two ayat, write down the reference, ayah number 94 and 95 from Surah Al-A'raf, tells us exactly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us, right? So let's look at the test first. When people, they deny the message. So think about situation these days, okay? Or like whatever you know of. So we are reminded that Allah is one, then we are reminded that these are the good deeds and these are the bad deeds. This is something you should do, this is something you should not do. You should not cheat people, you should not deceive people, you should not lie to people, you should not disobey Allah, many things, right? So this is the message. And we get this message from the Qur'an. And even after we get the message and we deny it, you know what happens? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts us through two things. What are they? Ba'sa and darra in Arabic. What does that mean in the verse? Look at this. I want you to know these terms, not for the test, but you need to know them anyways. But you need to know the English part for sure. And the English part is poverty and hardship. Poverty and hardship. So two different types of tests come our way when we ignore the message. Even if we believe in Allah, but we still don't obey Him, like we don't pray, we don't fast, we don't bother to become good people, we still stay stubborn, and we follow whatever our heart tells us to, or our bad friends tell us to, then we suffer financially and also sometimes emotionally. Okay, and it can be the financial is very understandable. Emotional can be because of our own situation, our heart, or sometimes because other people make it hard for us. Maybe we get bully friends or bully people or bad boss or some family member who's annoying or harassing type of people around us. So these are the tests from Allah. When we realize that this is a test, we can pass it, right? If we don't realize, then it's a problem. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives people a chance to become humble by putting them through these short tests, or you can say a mini punishment or a mini wake-up call. That before it's too late, wake up. Before it's too late, become humble. And what is humility in this case? That we start adding good deeds to our routine. That's why we're doing this course, inshallah, right? This is a good deed. So inshallah, this should make you humble. This should not make you arrogant. That I am such a knowledgeable person now, I know what's in Qur'an. No, that should not be the case. You should become more humble, that alhamdulillah, now I know more and I will be able to implement more. All right? So this is humility. And then what happens? Even if people don't become humble, all right? So let's say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them, and then they were like, okay, maybe everyone gets tested. It's all right. Everyone goes through stress once in a while. It's okay. Financial problems will ease off one day. Then what happens? They did not change, all right? Pay attention. They did not change. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though they did not change, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gave them richness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them like ease. They were in hardship. Now they're stress-free. They were struggling with money. Now they're not struggling with money. Why? It's a bigger test. Sometimes we think that, when we're getting wealth, Allah is happy with us. No. It's a bigger test. Smaller test is that we are tested with something which is hard, and it's understood that it's like, everyone takes it as a punishment. Everyone understands it's like a hard time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us more money, more fame, more luxury, and you can say more friends. That is a bigger test, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see, now what are we going to do? And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes that evil with something good, at this point, what do we need to do? We should remember Allah and thank Him before it's too late. Because if we're not going to thank Him, there is something big coming, which is mentioned in these ayat. Let's look at that. And when things, okay, before we get there, when things get better for these people, they did not change, all right? Remember, like they were really bad before and they went through stress and they went through financial crisis, but they just, stayed like that. They did not change a bit. After that, when things became good for them, when they got money, when they got, everything back, when they were not stressed out, they were enjoying their life, they're having fun, they started saying, our fathers were also touched by this. What does that mean? Like people in the past also went through all of this. It's not something new. People do go through tests. So it's not like, it was something strange for me. It was not because I was bad. It was not because it was my sins. It was just because it happens. Wrong move by these people. That's mentioned in the Qur'an, that this is how people react. And then what happens? Then Allah seizes them suddenly. Some big calamity comes and they're done away with. That's it. No more opportunities to change. Some big calamity comes, let's say a tornado, some hurricane, some flood, some earthquake, and that's it. Gone. So if Allah touches us with something small, we should behave before it's too late. And then we learn from ayah number 96. And if only the people of the cities had believed, all of these people, if they had believed and they feared Allah and they had taqwa, we would have opened upon them blessings from the sky and the earth. Like they would have received a lot of wealth if they would have believed and if they would have taqwa. So they got the first test. First test is some calamity. What do you think? Whatever we're going right now is like a mini punishment, right? The coronavirus is a mini punishment, so test for us. So we need to pass it before a bigger test comes. So these ayat are very relevant. These verses are for us to learn from. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if they would have done two things, what are the two things? They would have believed that, yes, I understand that it is Allah who is sending this virus to us so that we learn something from it. He wants us to become humble because that's what these ayat are saying. And He wants us to remember that Allah is watching us all the time. That's taqwa. So I'm not going to do anything wrong again. I'm not going to become the same person. So subhanallah, many people, they were doing a lot of wrong things, not because they are, you can say, stuck at home or they're locked at home. They're not able to do all those wrong things. They cannot go to the pubs. They cannot go to the parties and do haram stuff. So they are home. So they are saved from all of these sins. But they're waiting for the day when this virus is gone and they're going to go out and do all haram again, isn't it? Yes or no? What do you think? Are they planning to change? What do you think? Yes or no? They're not planning to change. They're waiting for the day when they can do all haram again. And you know what can happen? Then Allah can send a bigger punishment. So we should not become part of this crowd. We should be the ones at least who is going to change so the bigger punishment doesn't come. At least we should try to save them also. We should try to save the whole, humanity with our actions. So inshallah, if there are, a lot of Muslims who would change for good, who would become better than before, inshallah, we will be safe, inshallah. So have faith and keep reminding yourself that Allah is watching me. I cannot do haram. Allah is watching me. I cannot say anything wrong. Allah is watching me. I will not dress in a haram way either. So there are two things to do. And subhanAllah, when it comes to the virus situation, there are two reactions. There are some people, they are saying it's okay, it's going to pass. It happened before too. There were many times when we had these pandemics or these type of plagues and stuff. So it's all right. Just sit through, just relax. You'll be fine. That's fine to be hopeful, but they're not even thinking about changing. There's another group which is like, we must change. Seems like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not happy with us. We should ask Allah to forgive us. We should become better people. What do you think? Let me just ask you. Wait. Let me clear it all first. Okay, this is your green button, even though it looks red. So this is your yes button, and this is your no button. How should we be? Everyone saying yes. Only one person saying no? Come on. We shouldn't be like this. It will pass, But we need to change. Otherwise, the big punishment can come. So the answer is yes. So alhamdulillah, majority in our class is smart. Barakallahu feekum. Few are still struggling. May Allah guide them as well. Ameen. Okay, other ayat are mentioned in this surah. They are saying, they ask us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually wants us to think and ponder and ask us that, do you feel secure at night? Like, how can you sleep after committing a lot of sins? Do you feel secure that nothing will happen to you? How can you feel that? We should not feel secure. Let's say you do something so wrong. You stole someone's property. You stole someone's backpack. You hit someone so hard and you ran away. They did not see who, if it was you or not. Let's say you were bike riding and you hit someone's, like you accidentally hit someone and you just ran off. And that poor person was like some old lady and she could not even, run after you and find out who you were. So how can you sleep at night after doing something so wrong? Sometimes you break something at home, like your mom's favorite plate, dish, something, a vase or something, and then you don't even tell her, and you hide the remnants, they hide the broken pieces somewhere, and then she's keep on asking, did you see that vase? Did you see that plate? Where is it? And you know it all, but you're just like sitting there, acting as if you don't know nothing. How can you feel secure at night doing something so wrong? So what do? If we are human beings, we can make mistakes. Sometimes accidentally we can, hurt someone accidentally. Sometimes we can accidentally break things. So how can we fix this? Okay, this is a question we really need a voice for. So let's see who knows the answer. Let's say we accidentally, harmed someone, broke something. How are you going to deal with this situation? Brother Abdurrahman? Sister Mais Bayari?
You can ask for forgiveness and mercy, and then if, for example, instead of just like running away, you could have like seen who you hit, like, and you could have helped them or something.
Exactly. Beautiful. Exactly. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Alhamdulillah. Barakallahu feek, Sister Mais. You are very smart. All right. So what did we learn from here? That if we make mistakes, we can always ask Allah for forgiveness. We can always say sorry to that person. Like even if that was an elderly lady, you could have said, sorry, auntie, sorry, ma'am, sorry, sorry, lady, sorry, granny. I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally did it. Is it hurting you? Can I do anything for you? Can I help you? Can I take you to the doctors? And I'm really, really sorry. You can just quickly even get some flour from there somewhere and give it to her. Or maybe if you have a chocolate, you can give it to her. Something nice you can do in order to make it up. And let's say you broke something at home and you know that your mom is not going to forgive you. Your mom is just, is going to be very, very reactionary. So instead of going and telling her by standing in front of her, what you can do is you can write it on a piece of paper nicely, wrap some nice chocolate or some gift for her, and leave it in her room. So by the time she's exhausted and she's at home, she's in her room, then she will open it, and then when she will read your message, a nice one, she won't come screaming at you, inshallah. Because the thing is, sometimes we don't even know how to deal with these situations, and we make our parents react even harshly or more harsh than they should have. So inshallah, you have to be very smart about how to deal with anyone. So if you have made a mistake, doesn't matter, you can fix it with your kindness. You have to do something extra in order to make it up. And let's say you have some money on you, like you are a rich kid, you have like $10, $20, $30, $100, $1,000, whatever. And if you can buy a plate for your mother, whatever you broke for her, or if you can buy that vase again, then you can buy it again for them. Why not? Instead of keep on breaking things and keep on saying sorry, you can do something to pay it off. Then inshallah, there'll be no hard feelings. It'll be like a really good thing. We can do that, right, Sister Layla? Cool. All right. Also, we should not feel secure doing wrong things during the day also. Like some people, they keep on hurting people with their words. They're really, really harsh. They're really rude. It's not that they use swear words. It's just every statement they utter, it's worse than a swear word. Because, they're really, really, like you can say, toxic. They're like poisonous people. And when I say toxic or poisonous people or someone who is really, really rude, can you give me an example? Sister Fatima Ajmal, what do you think is a toxic statement or something which is very painful?
I think something that could be toxic is like if you're, let's say if you are in an argument and you might be physically fighting or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're physically fighting and that could actually injure someone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't actually.
No, that's good too. That's a good one too. But let's see, think about words. All right. So who can give me the example? This is a good. This is good too. We hurt people with our hands as well, but sometimes we hurt people with our tongue, and that's something sometimes very painful. Sister Shumaila or Sister Abir Sayed.
I'm here.
Okay, Shumaila. Okay, go ahead.
Let's say, for example, that you are talking negative about someone.
That's also toxic. Exactly, talking negatively. You're right. Can you give me an example? A statement which is negative?
Let's say that you have a friend, you're talking to them, and you say that, let's say you're like, how are you feeling in the morning? And you ask them, how are you feeling? And then you say, and then the person beside you says, I think you were eating worms in the morning and you're feeling good. Something like that, I guess.
Yeah, something bad. You're good. You understood the point. Alhamdulillah. And sometimes people say something that, you don't realize right away that it's something which is toxic, but later you realize that. Sister Abir? Or Brother Ismail? Brother Ismail? Nepal? Ismail, are you there? So you guys are raising hands and with no answers. That's not right. So you should have the answer. All right, Sister Safina.
Sorry, that's just the name of my mom. And then you could say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. And then if you can find that person, you could tell them sorry for what I said.
Very good. Can you tell me what is a toxic statement? Can you give an example?
You stink.
Exactly. Very good. So this is how people talk. So when people say something like that, you feel so sad, you feel so, bad. So if people make you feel sad and bad by saying something, you should never do that to others. Remember that. Because this is how we realize, right? That if someone can make me sad with their words, I can also make people sad with my words. And if I have done that, how can I be so normal? How can I enjoy my life and feel secure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't punish me? He can, right? So we have to, inshallah, say sorry, and we should not feel secure after doing worse things in this life. Now let's look at ayah number 100. Has it not become clear to those who inherited the earth after its previous people that if Allah willed, if we willed, we could afflict them for their sins? Like, people don't realize that Allah can punish people, but we seal over their hearts so they do not hear. The problem is, even after learning about all of these stories, people think that they can stay safe. Nothing will happen to them. Oh, it was like previous stories. These were the legends of the past. Yes, these people suffered. They are no more. They're just mentioned in different books, and their remains are in different museums. That's it. But we need to realize that they were once the superpowers of this world. They were once really, really rich. They were once with technology, because subhanallah, some people, you wonder that how did they carve into mountains? We still don't have that technology. Do you know that? Some previous nations, they were able to carve within the mountains in order to turn them into homes. So they did not build buildings. Instead, they took the mountain as their structure and they started carving in, and they turned the whole mountain into a big mansion, a big house, a big castle. And they had like small rooms and everything carved within. Such neat technology they had. But then Allah punished them because of their wrong actions. Their remains are there, but they're not there. So if we think technology is amazing and we are really superb and we can just rock the world, no, we can't. Technology can be taken away from us within a second. The way our freedom is taken away with this lockdown, isn't it? So we have to realize before it's too late. And also from all of these stories, we learn about types of punishments. 3 types of punishments are there. Sometimes Allah punishes us right away, and that right away is in 2 ways. One thing happens to us is that we are not guided anymore. Like we become misguided. So we don't do anything right. We do all the bad things. That's a punishment. If you notice someone not praying, let me just tell you a story. So there was this person, there was a young man. He went to the Imam of the masjid and he told the Imam of the masjid that, you know, I'm committing sins. I'm not praying. I'm not fasting. I'm not going for Hajj. I'm so rich and I'm not giving zakat, but I'm not punished. So the Imam told him, this is the punishment. This is a punishment that you're not even able to do any good thing, and you're very proud about it. This is the big punishment, because in Akhirah, you're not going to be in Jannah. You're going to suffer big time. You're not doing anything good. And another example of, you know, instant punishment is sealed hearts. You don't even feel like doing anything good. Your heart doesn't even want to do anything good. You want to do everything evil, dirty, bad. This is a punishment. If you notice that in your lives, it can happen to all of us, right? If you ever notice that in your life, that you're not feeling like doing good deeds, then you should do a lot of sorry to Allah. How? Oh Allah, forgive me. Oh Allah, pardon me. Oh Allah, I don't want to be punished. Please don't punish me like this. Please, I really want to do more good deeds. I don't want to be like those people who are not doing good deeds and they're happy about it. Because, you know, a good believer feels like doing good deeds all the time. Good deeds make him happy. Good deeds make her happy. So ask yourself, okay, let me clear the responses and let's see. When you give some charity, do you feel happy? Yes. Or do you feel sad? Press no. When you give some money in donation, do you feel happy or sad? Alhamdulillah. If you feel happy after giving the money, then you are on the right track. Alhamdulillah. So may Allah keep you all guided. MashaAllah. Beautiful. But if you feel sad and if it's like, oh my God, I gave away my $10, I would have gotten something for myself. I would have, you know, bought a burger for myself or something, or I would have got some game for myself, secondhand or whatnot. So that's not right. So when we feel good about our good deeds, that's a sign that we're guided. Alhamdulillah, then it's not a punishment. Some punishments are distant. What does that mean? They happen, but not right away. So let's say 1 year, last year you did something wrong. Last year you were really, really bad. And then you were not punished right away, but natural disaster came, like, let's say this year. Okay? So that's also a punishment. It can be because of your crimes. And third is final punishment, and that is hellfire. Of course, we cannot come out of that. So even if we're going through a natural disaster situation, we can still ask Allah for forgiveness. It's still not too late. But once we pass away, once we leave this world, then we cannot do anything. And especially when we see the angels of death, when they come and take our soul, the moment we see them, even if you scream that, oh Allah, sorry, please forgive me, it's not counted. It's too late. But as long as you're alive and you are doing fine and you haven't seen angels of death yet, alhamdulillah, you can keep saying sorry. So we should all do sorry right now because we are still alive, right? So in your heart, just, you know, talk to Allah and say, Allah, please forgive me for all my past sins. I can't bear the burden of them. It's too hard for me. And then we learn some amazing points from all of these stories, that what should we do when we see the truth? And you know, when I see the truth, what does it mean? Truth is when you come across a command from the Qur'an, when you find out about what's right and what's wrong, that's the truth. So when you see the truth, accept it right away. Believe in it. You know, it doesn't mean that you know, it's not possible for everyone to become amazing Muslim all of a sudden. It's not possible. I understand that. Some people are amazing like that. They do implement everything right away. But let's say maybe you're thinking, how is it possible? We have learned about so many things. I cannot become an amazing person in one day like this, right? So if you have these thoughts, don't worry, because you're accepting it. It doesn't mean you're implementing it, okay? So first is you see the truth and you accept it. Yes, I understand backbiting is wrong. Yes, I understand lying is wrong. Yes, I understand wearing immodest clothing is wrong, okay? So we accept it. Even if you're still not wearing hijab, even if you're still, sometimes becoming arrogant, but we understand, right? That's acceptance part. Then we believe in it, that yes, this is from Allah and it is going to benefit me. If I implement it, it's going to benefit me. That's third step. And then fourth is, I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm going to try to change slowly, one step at a time. So let's say, let me just give you the example of hijab, because maybe it's easier to understand. So let's say you are not wearing hijab and you are old enough to wear hijab. If you're too young, then of course you don't have to worry about it. But if you're old enough to wear hijab and you're not wearing it, so first step would be that you say, okay, from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to try to wear loose clothing. So I'm going to start off with full sleeves first, because hijab is not the covering of head only. It's about the whole body. So I'm going to make sure that my sleeves are covered, and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to make sure my arms are covered, my sleeves are full. I'm going to make sure my, the trouser isn't tight. It shouldn't be tights for sure. And because, the shape of the body should not be visible, because what's the point? It's just like you have painted on some fabric on your skin. It's like not wearing anything. It's just colored skin. So inshallah, start off with that. So one step at a time. So maybe 1 month you can try full sleeves. The month after you can try, you can say baggy pants. And then the month after you can try wearing hijab in a very cool style. All right. Maybe just, start off with like a turban style, whatnot. Not that it's something which is cool or great, or that's something which you should be doing, but this is a step towards it, from no hijab to something on the head. All right. And then the month after you can say, okay, now I'm going to wear it properly. And then a month after you're going to have like your whole wardrobe of nice, beautiful abayas and nice, beautiful hijabs. Make sense? Then it's easy, right? What do you think? Slow. Okay, let me ask you another question. Going slow is easy? Yes. Or going fast is easy? No. Slow is easy, right? One step at a time. Because fast would be too much. And sometimes when we make a big change fast, then people also, they make it hard for us. Oh my God, wear it from now on. Oh, you won't, you will have to wear it in shower as well, your hijab. Oh my God, what will happen to you? How are you going to come to the prom like this? And how are you going to show off your hair? You have such lovely hair. How would you tell people that you have lovely hair? And things like that, right? People will make it hard for you. So if you're going to go slow, maybe they will also not make it hard for you. Even if they make it hard for you, who cares? Remember we talked about it, that we have to stick to our values. We don't need to worry about what people say. And if you have nice hair, you have the nice hair for your family, for home. And it's actually good for you to cover your hair anyways, because the sunlight sometimes is not good for your hair, and the intense sunlight. So it's good that you're protecting yourself like that. All right. So let's say if we become stubborn and we say, no, I'm not going to wear hijab. That's not on my checklist. Never, ever. That's it. What did we do? We are becoming stubborn now. Now what happens? Allah will take away the sense of realization from us. We will never be able to wear hijab. We will never be able to realize that it is important. Scary, right? It would have happened to you. It happens to many of us. And it's not just about hijab, it's about other things. And then Allah seals the heart. May Allah forgive us if we have ever done that. Let me give you another example. Example can be of halal haram, all right? So let's say you saw the truth. We've been talking about it for past 2 days. You saw the truth that it's not okay to eat haram. And there are some jelly beans or some type of jello. It has gelatin, and that gelatin is haram, right? So we see the truth. We don't accept it. We don't believe in it. And then we are stubborn that no, I'm still going to eat it. I still have 1 pack left. I bought it from Walmart or whatnot. I'm going to finish it off. Then eventually what will happen? you won't even you won't even mind eating haram. You will become so hard-hearted. The instructions won't even make sense to you, and that will be the worst thing. What can be the best thing in this situation? Yet, even if you have a whole bucket of jelly beans, haram jelly beans at home, they're halal ones too. All right, they are halal ones too. So you see the truth, you accept it right away. You say, okay, I'm not going to eat it. And you believe that it is going to be rewarding for you, inshallah, when you leave it. And you don't become stubborn on it. Then Allah will guide you and you will get a lot of reward. But hard heart is a very sad state. So one sister is asking, we should also talk about boys' clothing. Yes, exactly. Inshallah. Ayahs are going to come soon, Sister Farah. We're going to talk about them, inshallah. These are just few examples. So when we have a hard heart, you know what happens? When we have a hard heart, then we are not able to see the boundaries. We're not able to see what's right and we're not able to see what's wrong. And then we cross the limits. And it's not just in one thing, then we start crossing limits everywhere because we think, I'm already doing one haram thing. How about I do another one? Because, I'm already going to go to hellfire. So how about I do another wrong thing? And then you become such a bad person like this. So that's why we need to cut it out, even though slowly, one step at a time, but we can do it, inshallah. And there's another important ayah in this surah, which talks about that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he found very few people who were good, very few, less people. And there were a lot of people who were fasiqeen. They were sinners. They were disobedient. Very few were obedient. And a lot of them, majority, aktharuhum, majority was not obedient. So again, we are not supposed to follow majority because then we may end up becoming disobedient like them. And then comes the story of Musa alayhi salam, starting from ayah number 103, and it goes for a long time. But I'm going to just focus on one point from there. So in this story of Musa alayhi salam, we learn that Musa alayhi salam, he was supposed to go and tell Fir'aun to leave his people. So let me give you a bit of background. Inshallah, someday we're going to talk about his story to do with childhood as well, but it's about when he was older, when he was coming back from Madian, when he was given the prophethood, when he was told to go and tell Fir'aun to free his people. So Fir'aun was the title of the king of Egypt. And in Egypt, they had two types of people, two groups of people. One, they were Bani Israel. They were from the children of Yaqub alayhi salam. They were from the, you can say, family of prophets. Initially they were. Eventually they became really, really bad, but they were still related. So they were Bani Israel. And then there was another group in Egypt. They were the Coptics, all right? And those people were the ruling class, and Bani Israel was the slave class. They were slaves, and Fir'aun and his people, they were the leaders, they were the kings, and they would torture them, they would abuse them, they would use their services for free, and they would just do whatever with them. And Bani Israel had no clue, and they had no freedom, they had nothing, subhanAllah. They were suffering big time, in other words. So Musa alayhi salam was told to go and tell Fir'aun to get freedom for Bani Israel. Just go and tell Fir'aun to free them because, enough is enough. Now he has to stop and he has to free the people. And then when he went there, and Fir'aun, instead of learning from all of this or thinking about it at least, that okay, maybe he's right, he started making fun of him. And then he asked for the people to look for, and he also asked Musa alayhi salam, okay, show me something, so I believe you, like show me something that proves that you're a prophet. So Musa alayhi salam was given some miracles. One miracle was the glowing hand miracle, and the other miracle was the miracle to do with the staff. He had a stick, right? And his stick could turn into a snake. Make sense? Two things were major. There were other things too. So these were actually two major ones for him for now. And there will be another miracle soon, but again, it will be because of the stick. So one was the stick, which was amazing, and one was the hand, which was amazing. And it was something which was not known. And it was something new for Pharaoh too. He could have believed, but he didn't want to believe. And then his people, his chiefs, made it hard for him to believe. They were like, no, he's here because he wants to take over the kingdom. He wants to become king like you and blah, blah, blah. And it was a lie. It wasn't the case. Musa alayhi salam wasn't here to become a king. Musa alayhi salam just wanted his people free, and he wanted to take them somewhere else. He didn't even want to stay there to begin with. But again, people sometimes they they blame you that you have wrong intentions, even though you don't have wrong intentions. So what do you do at that time? Don't worry, because Allah knows your correct intentions. You don't have to try to prove that, no, I'm good, please look at me, and I'm a righteous person, I don't have bad intentions, I really care about you. No, don't worry about it. If you have good intentions, Allah knows. You don't have to waste yourself in order to prove yourself that you're a good person, because Allah knows. People, they may never believe you, no matter what you do. So why waste your energy on them? So Musa alayhi salam, he just showed his miracles. He just, Pharaoh did not want to believe. And when Musa alayhi salam showed him the snake, he was like, whoa, this is interesting. So he thought it was magic. He assumed it was magic. And then he asked his people, you can say his soldiers, to go and find the best magicians in this country and bring them all, and let's have a competition. So he turned this amazing message into a show. Even though Musa alayhi salam, he wanted him to believe and become a better person, he wanted to turn it into a show. It's like literally a stadium situation. So there was a day when everyone was off. Like let's say it was a holiday. Everyone was off and everyone was invited. The whole, it's like a public event. All the people were gathered there. Magicians came. Musa alayhi salam came and his brother Harun. And then they stood there. And then Ibrahim, when Musa alayhi salam was asked, would you like to do your trick first? Like, would you want to show your magic first? Or should we ask these magicians? So Musa alayhi salam was smart. So he let the other party go first. And why is it smart to let the other party go first and then you do something? One point I'm going to give you today. Inshallah, we're going to talk about the rest later. When you have someone else go first before you, now you have a target. You know what I mean? Especially if you know about cricket or any other game like that, any other sports like that. If you let the other team play first, now at least you have a target to meet, right? Because if you don't have a target, you have to strive so much. Now you have a target, that, okay, this is my limit. I just have to cross that in order to win. So Musa alayhi salam took the smart option. He said, you go first, and then I'm going to see. So of course, they all knew about the magic. They heard about the magic. So they all brought their own mini, you can say, snakes. So they turned their stakes and stuff into snakes. And that was all magic. Magic is all lies. So it was all false. And then Musa alayhi salam, what he was doing wasn't a magic. It was a miracle. So when he threw his staff, his stick, it turned into a big serpent. It was not like a normal, small, skinny type of snake. It was like a big serpent. And that big serpent started eating all of these fake snakes, or you can say magic snakes. And then upon seeing that, these magicians were amazing. They just fell onto the ground in sajda. And they said, we believe. That's how believers are. When they realized, they did not become like Fir'aun. They did not become arrogant that, no, let me try another trick, or let me do something else, or I will learn something, I will learn even worse type of magic and come back tomorrow. No, nothing of that. They realized, all of them, and they did sajda right away. Subhanallah, this is amazing. And then, of course, Fir'aun was really agitated. He was angry. He was like, you are obeying him? I did not even give you the permission. You are all together. He also blamed them, that you were all one team. You all planned it out. And it wasn't true. Musa alayhi salam did not even know them before this day. He didn't even know that they knew this magic or whatnot. So, but Fir'aun blamed them all. When someone blames you, again, you don't have to clarify yourself, because Musa alayhi salam did not. He didn't say, oh, I did not know them. Even they didn't say that. Even magicians didn't say, no, please forgive us. None of that. And this shows us that Islam gives us freedom. Fir'aun didn't want them to have freedom. Islam tells us you're independent to choose. You can make your own decision. If you want to be good, if you want to be bad, then of course consequences are on you. You have to be smart enough to pick the right thing. And we should not try to control people the way Fir'aun was trying to control. Because when Fir'aun was trying to control people, it was becoming hard for the people to live, and people hated him. All the Bani Israel did not like him. Even though he was the king and he was claiming that he was the Lord of the world, whatnot, na'udzubillah, right? But still people did not like him. So when we try to control people, people don't like us. So don't try to control your family members, don't try to control your siblings, don't try to control anyone. Control means that you want them to do everything you like. You want them to behave the way you like. So you should let them have their own decision. And sometimes there are many ways to do a right thing, not just one. Like, there can be many recipes to one cake, isn't it? Like if you want to make that red velvet cake. So red velvet cake can be made with different recipes, right? So don't make it so hard for people to follow my recipe step by step, otherwise you're doomed. And the best way is to teach people by showing them the truth and let them decide, inshallah. And when we look at the story of magicians, they were believers, true believers. So we learned that how do true believers react in situations. They never compromise on the deen, because when they said, we believe in the Rabb of Musa and Harun, when they said that we believe in the Lord, the real Lord, not you, Fir'aun. So Fir'aun was like, I'm gonna crucify you. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut your hands and legs and whatnot. He was scaring them. He was harassing them. He was making it difficult for them. But they were confident. They said, it's all right. One day we have to die anyways. So it doesn't matter. And during hard times, believers, their iman increases. So we need to check ourselves these days. Do I feel more iman in me? Like, do I feel more good these days? Like I'm doing more good deeds? Do I feel like becoming a better Muslim these days in this situation? Or am I becoming bad? Or am I becoming evil? Or am I doing more wrong things? So believers, they react like this. 3 things, write them down. Never compromise on your deen. Stay confident about your deen. And during hard times, increase in your iman, in your faith. But let's analyze Fir'aun. What happened to him? He was extremely insecure. That's why he was trying to control people. When we try to control people, it shows that we're insecure. We know that we don't have the real power. That's why we are trying to control people, because the moment people will be out of our control, they will be able to harm us back, right? They will be able to show the world the reality. And he was very arrogant. That's why he was not able to use his intellect properly. And he was a tyrant because he was keep on killing people. And he was pumped up by his ministers. Sometimes we are pumped up by our friends. We do something wrong and we are starting to think a bit guilty. And then our friends say, no, it wasn't that bad. It's all right. People do that too. It's all right. It was just one swear word. It was just one push. It was just one slang. It was just, it was just one racial slur. That's it. Don't listen to such friends, because they're not good friends. They're not good friends. And he wasn't so smart. He did not know how to deal with this situation. Why are we saying that he wasn't smart? Because think about it. Musa alayhi salam, he just came to Fir'aun. No one would have found out about Islam, right? No one would have found out about the deen or Allah, but he made it public. He said, everyone should come and watch this show. Okay, let's see what happens. And you know what happened? Everything was against him. He was thinking maybe magicians are gonna win, and he's going to mock at Musa alayhi salam. He's going to laugh at him, and he's going to tell people, look at him. But everything was opposite to what he planned. And this is how Allah plans. Everyone found out about it. And then there were some good people as well. Some people believed. So what should we do when we are going through some hard times? Musa alayhi salam gave this advice to his people: seek help from Allah and do sabr. So make dua, pray and do sabr, and things will become better. So inshallah, this is a message for us. Don't lose hope, inshallah, and there will be good result for the people who are muttaqeen, the ones who are conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So today we may not have the best, but tomorrow we will have something we can't even imagine if we do two things. And what are those two things? Seek help with Allah, and when we do sabr. So inshallah, don't react negatively with anyone. Future is going to be bright for you because Allah's help will be with you always, inshallah. So life is a test to see that who is going to do sabr and who is going to do shukr. So inshallah, when the lockdown is over, you're going to do what? Let me ask you. Sabr is 1. I'm opening the chat. Sabr is 1 and shukr is 2. When the lockdown is over, what are you going to do? Sabr 1, shukr 2. Shukr, right? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Right now, what are you going to do? Sabr or shukr? And the good answer is you can do both right now, and you can do both later as well, because there are many reasons to be thankful even today. Alhamdulillah, we have family time, right? Alhamdulillah, we don't have to worry about going back and forth to school. So there are many reasons to be grateful even today. And yes, we need to do sabr at times as well, because it's too hard to be together all the time, and we feel agitated, and we have to see the same faces day in and day out, and in the morning and the evening, right? So we have to do sabr as well. But inshallah, once the lockdown is over, we will do a lot of shukr, and we will thank Allah, and we will become better people, inshallah. We can do that, right? Inshallah. Beautiful. So alhamdulillah, we are done. And yes, and remember all the promises you're making right now, because a lot of times we make promises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Oh Allah, please fix the situation, and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Some people make big promises, or they say big things like, oh Allah, please get me out of this situation, or help me pass this course, and I will pray 100 rakat, or I will memorize the whole Qur'an. Then you have to fulfill those promises. So ask yourself, did you ever make any promises with Allah? And if you did, then are you fulfilling them? So inshallah, next time, be very cautious about what kind of promises you make. And inshallah, once you make the promise, then it is mandatory on you to fulfill it. Then you should fulfill it. Jazakumullah khairan kaseera, everyone. So today's homework is look for think about all the promises you made with Allah, that I'm going to be a good person, I'm going to memorize last juz, or I'm going to memorize the whole Qur'an, or I'm going to improve my tajweed, or I'm going to pray 10 rak'at, or I'm going to give sadaqah, charity every day. Whatever promise you have made with Allah, try to fulfill it. Let's say you're not able to fulfill it because it's too hard, then remember that you can fast for 3 days consecutive. Let's start with not fasting, the last option. So we have to start with feeding 10 people. So you can feed 10 people for that promise you did not fulfill. Make sense? All right. Jazakumullahu khairan kaseera. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, inshallah, star students in a bit. But there's a question. So sister, wait a second. I've seen a question. A good question by Sister Nusrat was. And Sister Hania, very good question. Can you pray tahajjud if you did not sleep? Qiyamul Layl, when you pray at night, that's a very good time. That's a beautiful time, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He comes down to the lowest heavens, and your du'as are accepted at that time. So you sleep or you don't sleep, that doesn't matter, right? That is still Qiyamul Layl. Tahajjud is a term which is linked, according to scholars, with sleeping and no sleeping, but doesn't matter. That time is beautiful, all right? So even if you haven't slept, you can still pray, and it's still very rewarding, and that time is amazing. So don't miss out the opportunity, inshallah. All right, so let me just stop the Facebook feed so we can, inshallah, do our Q&A here. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone on the Facebook.